Hi, welcome to Omni Mums, Bumps and Babes. My name's Louise, coach and owner at Omni. I want to talk now about the general do's and don'ts of exercise during pregnancy. The first thing I will say that exercise should be encouraged. There are many benefits for both mum and baby, and only certain very rare medical conditions you may be told not to exercise at all. Whether you've exercised before or not, it should be encouraged. Some things may need to be adapted, weights lowered, intensity dropped, but there's something for everybody. The first thing I want to touch on is something that will affect every person regardless of gestation or even how you're keeping during pregnancy, and that is to listen to your body. Obviously, growing a human is hard work. The changes that go on through your body, you're going to be more prone to dizziness, to blood pressure changes. You may overheat quicker, so it's really important that we take adequate rest throughout our workouts and we don't push ourselves too hard. When we're looking at exertion levels, we try and keep it to a level where you're still able to maintain conversation. And if you get to the point where you can't hold a conversation, you can't talk, you probably need to slow things down and take a bit of a break. During the sessions with me, there'll be plenty of breaks incorporated, but obviously at any point that you feel you may need to slow things down, take a slightly easier option, that's fine. Listen to your body, you're the only one that kind of understands how you're feeling. The next thing I would say that goes for kind of the whole pregnancy would be to avoid anything that may cause a fall. Now, unless you're a pro horse rider, skydiver, mountain biker maybe, we want to be avoiding that type of thing. Contact sports as well, anything that may put you or your baby at risk of injury, we want to try and avoid during pregnancy. During trimester 1, you can pretty much do what you have been doing previously. There's a few things that we need to consider as the bump grows, which is why the general guidelines will say from trimester 2 the following kind of applies. But obviously if your bump is growing well during trimester 1, we want to be looking to take things back a notch there. The few things that we want to be considering: avoid any exercise that involves lying flat on your back. That position reduces the blood flow to you and the baby by compressing the vena cava, leaving you potentially feeling quite dizzy, but also leaving potential risks for the baby. So we definitely want to avoid that. The next one, we want to avoid anything that puts pressure down the centre of our abdominal muscles. So anything like the sit-ups or crunches, we want to be taking that out completely. The reason for that is as we grow our bumps, the abdominal muscles will split, and it happens to most people. Diastasis or diastasis recti, separation of the abdominal muscles. So the bump growing is enough to cause that split to happen, but how much the split is can be avoided by avoiding some of these movements. So sit-ups and crunches won't feature in any of the workouts that we do together, and it's something that even in daily life, so getting up out of the bath or out of bed, I would certainly try and avoid. So roll onto your side and then come up that way. Obviously that sit-up is just adding extra pressure. Extra pressure also comes from movements like jumping, so we want to try and take out any plyometric movements to avoid any additional abdominal pressure. Your pelvic floor will also thank you for that, especially as you progress through pregnancy as well. Next, we don't want to ban the bump, so movements like press-ups, burpees perhaps need to be modified so that we're not going flat to the floor for obvious reasons. Another thing to consider as well, your centre of gravity as your bump grows is going to change quite a bit, affecting balance and posture potentially. So just something to be aware of, and again, listening to your body, taking things back a notch if we need to. The hormone relaxin, which is preparing you for labour, by relaxing the joints, increasing flexibility, that affects every joint, so it's not just those that are needed in labour. So remember that you will be more flexible than normal, and don't overstretch. I think that's kind of all we need to cover just now. Obviously I will remind you of all this during the sessions, you don't need to go back and take notes. I am really looking forward to working with you, but in the meantime, if you've got any questions at all, please get in touch. If not, I'll see you at the start of the programme. Take care.